So, Marvel's finally done it. Doctor Doom has been revealed. Let's discuss. Okay, so they finally done it. We've got Doctor Doom fully revealed. Marvel had a light display in Shanghai where they showed off a few really cool graphic images, like small animations of Doom in China. And throughout these images, we see clips of Doom in the chair, Doom ripping out someone's spine, just like in the comic where he takes Thanos' spine out of his body, and it was probably one of my favourite panels ever in a comic book. Even though this is technically the first reveal for Doom in Doomsday, this is actually the second reveal, because we did get a glimpse of Doom in the Fantastic Four after credits. This is what intrigues me the most, because that version of Doom looks quite different to what we have here. You can see in the end credits, Doom's hood is more of a vibrant green, and the mask looks a lot more basic. It's a bit more clean looking, a bit more simplified, where this is a bit more intricate. It has a bit more going on. The hood is more of a darker green. Again, this could potentially change in, production with editing and such, but this leads to two theories. Theory one is that we're going to get multiple versions of Doom, which it's a multiverse movie, so that will probably happen regardless, but it does make you wonder, are these completely different Dooms or are these the same Doom? But theory two, I do believe that this is the same Doom, but there's going to be a major time jump from the Fantastic Four after credits to Doomsday, and I will break that down in another video. But basically, just to give you a quick summary, there was already a time jump after the Fantastic Four movie to the after credits, just like in Thunderbolts. But if you remember, Reed said it would take about 10 years to study Galactus' ship, and that's what I believe Doom is there for. So I believe Fantastic Four after credits to Doomsday is going to be roughly about a 10-year jump, give or take. And when you look at Iron Man's armor from 2008, Iron Man, he had the Mark III, and then we jump 10 years time to 2018 Infinity War. Those armors look completely different. It's 10 years, and that's what I believe is going on here with Doom. It does make you wonder though, if there are multiple versions of Doom, is Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom the prime Doom, or is this a misdirect and they've actually casted the main Doom as a different role, and perhaps he will then take the center stage in the second or third act? I doubt that'd happen. I think Marvel, they paid their money for RDJ. I'm sure they're going to get their money's worth out of him. Will there be multiple Dooms? Who is the true Doom? I think it was Vanessa Kirby did say that it was Robert Downey Jr. in that after credit scene. They just didn't show his face because they didn't want to pay him even more money. It does also make you wonder, will these Dooms be aligned with themselves, a bit like the Kangs, or will they be fighting each other? Again, a bit like the Kangs. In the animation, we can see where it looks like Doom's ripping out someone's spine. It does make you wonder. This is highlighted in red, and this looks very much like Iron Man in some ways. Like the legs look all more armored up, more like Iron Man boots, and you can see blue light coming out of his hands, which looks like the repulsors. It does make you think, is this more of a Iron Man variant thing? Is he imposing as Iron Man, and this is perhaps when he reveals his true colours and potentially betrays and kills someone? Will they do a different spin on this, where it's not Thanos he kills, but potentially a beloved character that will be closer to the audience hearts, which will make this scene more impactful? As much as we all love Thanos, we've seen him die twice already. I don't think any of us are really going to bat an eyelid when we see him die again. But if this was a character that's been with a franchise that we all love, and who's difficult to kill as well, like Thor.
Is that me? Is that Thor? Is he crying?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Or Hulk. Or Bucky. Or anyone like that. Maybe not Bucky. He's not probably that hard to kill. Iron Man did whip his ass in Civil War. It happened. But yeah, it does make you wonder what's going to happen in this scene, because all comic book nerds like myself know that Marvel's going to have this scene in the movie. Like, it's got to happen. It was one of the most epic panels, I think, in comic book history anyway. But much like with Infinity War, if you compare that movie to the comic book. They're similar, but they're almost completely different. And I think we're going to get the same thing with Doomsday and Secret Wars compared to the original source material. Marvel never tells a story that's completely word for word. Like, if not, half the audience are already going to know what's going to happen. Are they going to put a spin on this scene? Because I do think it's got to be included in the movie. It's absolutely epic. But will they do a slight spin on it where Doom will kill someone that we love? Imagine he kills Thor, and he kills him in such a brutal, horrible way that despite we all want the scene to happen, it also breaks the audience hearts. Same thing if it was any other character that we really like, or for shock factor, a character like Sentry, who seems to be completely invulnerable, and he just kills him instantly in such a gruesome way. We also see glimpses of Doom sitting in his throne, which looks awesome, and a few other stuff of symbols and all these other things. I'm not going to pretend to know what these symbols mean, because I don't. I don't think anyone really knows what they mean, despite, there's many breakdowns and interesting videos out there which suggest what it all means, but it is kind of hard to gauge. But yeah, when Robert Downey Jr. got casted as Doom, everyone assumed that he was going to be an Iron Man variant. Very well might be. But with this first look of this costume and how more magic based it looks with different markings and the runes and stuff, first of all, it's comic book accurate, but we're not seeing any actual sort of tech here. We just see the sort of classic medieval like armor. It does suggest that we are really going to get a comic book accurate version of Doom. I don't think Doom is a Iron Man variant. I do believe that the only links Robert Downey Jr. has to Doom and Iron Man is no different than Chris Evans having ties to Human Torch and Captain America. They're the same actor playing completely different roles, both similar characters but also completely different at the same time. Human Torch and Captain America, they're both heroes but completely different personalities.
That's right, Wade. I won't be happy until I've urinated on her freshly barbecued corpse and husk-fucked the charred remains while gargling Juggernaut's nuts. Wow.
Tony Stark and Victor Von Doom. A little bit more different, similar personalities in some sense where they're both brilliant scientists. In some comic books, we do have Iron Man become a villain, and in some comic books, we do have Doom take on the role as Iron Man and become a hero. But also we have differences, like Tony Stark's charisma. He's always making jokes, where Doom is very serious, he's very dark, and he keeps himself more to himself, where Tony Stark, he's a womanizer, he makes jokes, he throws parties, where Doom is, likes to sit in his castle with his Doom bots. But anyway, this was exactly kind of how I'd imagined that Marvel would have gone down the route with Doom. It's comic book accurate for starters. They're not doing the whole futuristic nanotech thing, which, again, brilliant. What do you guys think of Doom's new suit? Was you hoping for more? Are you excited? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys, I'll see you in the next one.